Hi guys, welcome back to Water Replay, and in this video we're looking at the Crusader 5.5 inch self-propelled, or SP. It's Tier 7 British artillery. Very interesting vehicle, and a look at it, you quite clearly see the Crusader chassis, and the more observant of you will have already noticed that that is the front, that is the back. So quite a common theme with the British artillery is that the gun sits towards the front or the back, so the actual tanks and the vehicles are backwards. This is the first one I've actually noticed where it's got a 410 horsepower engine and a 14 kilometers an hour speed limit. Now, in my quick preview video I did, I was wondering if that 14 kilometers an hour speed limit is because the tank drives, in essence, when it's driving forwards, it's actually going backwards. And I was right, because it does do 14 kilometers an hour forwards, but if you drive in reverse, it does, I think I've had it up to 43 kilometers an hour going backwards, which means you can be aiming down range at targets, and when you want to relocate, or if you're avoiding artillery counterfire, you can just reverse and go full speed like a medium tank, and it's absolutely brilliant because you can run away keeping your gun pointing at the enemy, which is fantastic. So really enjoyed it. Right, let's have a look at the other stats. We've got a 5.5 inch gun, a rate of fire 2.14, which is pretty similar to some of the other ones. Just get up some of the more popular. Look at the Hummel. Yeah, so it's actually slower than the Hummel, faster than the Hummel, at 950 damage. Looking at the Hummel, it's 2.6. Let's look at the GW Panther. So it's much faster but less damage than the GW Panther. 0.7 accuracy. So and the M12. Yeah, it's faster than the M12 but less damage, which seems to be a common theme with the British ones. They're sort of quicker firing, but they do less damage. I know it's definitely going to do less damage than this thing. Yeah, it fires much quicker. So yeah, 2.14, so it's substantially faster firing than the rest of the Tier 7s. It's just less average damage, but it does have better accuracy and better aiming time. That aiming time and accuracy, 0.72, I was going to compare that to the Tier 9 because I was playing the Tier 9. And the Tier 9's gone, yeah, aims, see those stats there say it's less accurate and aims faster, aims slower, but it actually feels better than that, which I'll show you in that video anyway. Back to the Crusader. So yeah, 6.5 second aim time is pretty good. Penetration, yeah, well, it's artillery. Strange thing is the secondary shell actually has more penetration than the primary shell. There you go, slightly higher penetration on that, as well as having a slightly larger splash radius, which is unusual. 4,800. No armour piercing on there, which the British tanks tend to have very limited choices of ammunition. Right, back to the core stats. Traverse speed 32, which is pretty good. It does turn quite quickly. I mean, in essence it's a cruiser tank, so it's a fast mobile tank that it's mounted on, and it does behave like a fast mobile tank. Excuse me. Obviously all you have to do is drive it backwards. So, typical artillery, no hull armour whatsoever. a gun traverse 14 degrees, and it's got a decent traverse angle. I mean, it's probably like that to that, probably around about, I don't know, what, 50 degrees or so, which is quite nice. Crew skills, I've just gone for camo. Even though it's got a good traverse, I always like to have clutch braking, because in an artillery you can never turn quick enough. As something gets up close to you and starts circling you, like, you always need to turn quicker. I've got a snapshot on there, which does help slightly your accuracy when you're moving your gun in traverse, even though it says it moves on the turret. It's been tested before, it does seem to help when you're moving a gun traverse as well. And I went for 6 cents on there, even though it's not trained up, and it probably won't be trained up before the test server closes. But anyway, let's go and take a look at a couple of battles we've done in it. Alright, so here we are on Live Oaks. As you can see, it's an E25 party. Now, considering this is primarily an artillery patch for the British artillery, there's only me and one other artillery in the game. Actually, scratch that, because the enemy team has a bishop as well, which for some reason it shows up as a tank colour. You can see it down the bottom of the enemy team's listing. But yeah, look at all those E25s, and E25 is a really good fun tank to play. But, this was the first battle that I actually did in this particular artillery, so it always gives you like an equivalent tier battle. So I'm in a tier 7 battle, and at the moment the majority of tier 7 people have played E25s, so, which I don't mind so much in artillery, because they seem quite easy to kill, because I've got no armour. You saw me there reversing quite quickly, because yep, this is the backwards tank. It goes faster backwards than it does forwards. So we're just waiting for things to be spotted. Just keeping an eye on the map. A light tank down south, a TD and a medium sitting on the hill. I was actually in the wrong view. Let's rewind a bit. There we go, that's better. You can see what I'm actually aiming at. So you can see the size of the reticule. Not too big, not too small. Quite decent for a tier 7. Reload speed's okay. Keeping an eye on those lights, but we've got a lot of TDs around there, so I'm sort of thinking they may be okay. Stay concentrated on these heavier targets here. It's a fairly decent hit on that heavy. So now we switch to the south, because our TDs are starting to lose. Look at that, it's a swarm of E25s coming. And fire, and they stop. I absolutely hate that. You lead a target, and as soon as you press fire, they stop moving. It's the old psychic target thing again. That down there on 4% is one of the MT25s. That's the replacement for the T50-2. I'll get a few games in that. Maybe get a video up, showcase that a bit as well. That was my first kill on the E25s. Starting to get a little bit concerned here now, because all we have down there is a tier 7 French TD, and he's being swarmed by E25s. Let's try and get aimed on this one here. I'm playing right at the edge of my traverse, which isn't a good idea, so I was too busy aiming rather than positioning myself. I think, yeah, just take a blind shot there and it just lands nowhere near where I was wanting it to go. I started off moving forwards, but then I thought, run away. So you can see the acceleration go backwards, it's pretty damn good. Up to like 30 kilometers an hour on a slight upslope. Avoid a couple of shots. Tiger P manages to take one out. I get a hit. Miss me. Starting to get a bit concerned. I thought I'd try and just do a TD style shot, but that wasn't a good idea. I should have aimed properly. Tiger P takes out another one. Look at all those dead TDs. The E25's killed a Tiger P. And thank you very much. Turn your side armour facing me and boom. That's kind of evened up a bit. They've got TD coming back over to this side. There's a Tiger P over there. Got an E25 doing some scouting here. He starts moving, so I think, well, I'm not going to bother going for him when he's moving because they're very, very fast. Try to take out one of the arties. There we go, bang. Bishop's quite a slow thing, that's why I didn't lead that too much when I fired. Now we're winning 12-10. There's a guy in a Crusader saying that run backwards can achieve 44. I was really pleasantly surprised at that point. It was like people speaking English in a test server and nobody shot at me from my own team. That's me just telling them that up there somewhere there was a Tiger P. That nobody seems too bothered about lighting him up. So we'll just concentrate on the one that we can see. Now, I don't know what I was doing there. Well, it turns out if he'd carried on moving I probably would have hit him. You can see it's got quite a good traverse on the gun. It reminds me a lot of the French artillery, this. It's, something else killed it just before my shell hit the dead tank. Yeah, anyway, as I was just saying, it reminds me a lot of the French artillery. It's mobile, quick reload, reasonably accurate, just not as much damage as the rest of the tier 7s. There's a Tiger B. Waiting to zoom, take a shot early, and miss. I should have just waited and aimed properly. Getting ahead of myself there. So there we go. The first battle in the Crusader self-propelled 5.5 inch. Let's take a look at the results. Right, so here's the results from the first battle then. I didn't actually record these, so what I've done is I took screenshots and I'm just recording the screenshots. So you can see 20,670 credits, 1,440 experience. Reasonable credits, experience for a double, that's reasonable, nothing spectacular. Damaged quite a few vehicles. Look on the next one, did 1,000 damage, which again, that's nothing spectacular. 3 kills. Let's see, I fired 11 shots, had 4 hits, 2 splash damages, 1,000 damage. So yeah, pretty average battle. Considering that was my first battle in that particular vehicle, so I wasn't expecting to do amazingly well. Of course, there's no brothers in arms or anything, so yeah, it was alright. I mean, on the whole, I think it's quite an interesting vehicle. So anyway, let's go and have a look at the next battle we played. And the next battle is actually recorded live when I was playing, so you might hear the odd mouse clicking things in there, so apologies for that. I was just sort of trying it out as a bit of an experiment, but anyway, let's go and take a look at that. Right, so here we are in the Crusader self-propelled gun, 5.5 inch gun carriage on Sacred Valley. It's a tier 8 game, which is pretty good considering we're in tier 7 artillery. There's only one tier 7 on each side and one tier 6. Now, watch this. Remember, this vehicle's got 14 kilometers an hour top speed going forwards, but because it's a backwards pointing Crusader, oh, and look at that. Russian guy shooting at me. Which is always nice. That's actually the first incidence of friendly fire I've had in all the games I've been trying to get on the test server. As always, it's predominantly Russian people. Test servers are mainly populated by Russian players because obviously they've got the higher player base. And I don't like saying it, but generally it is the Russian guys that do all the team damage and team attacking, which let's try and get some shots in at these guys. Hopefully they'll stay spotted for long enough. It's got relatively decent accuracy, decent load time. It's very similar to a Hummel. I say decent accuracy, would be nice if I could actually hit something. Although looking at the size of the reticule, the tier 9, which I was trying last night, does seem to have a smaller reticule. That was better. Bit of damage on both of them. That's one thing about artillery. You've got the old thing where a target will sit still for ages, you aim on it, as soon as you click fire it moves. It's almost like they're psychic. Or they've got a little warning button, like warning artillery incoming, move. It would be nice to have shells go where you want them to. With the new modifications to accuracy, it has affected it a little bit. It's not so much, it just... They do seem to go a little bit more wayward than they used to. This is going to be a very dodgy shot, unless he gets out of the way or dies. be in trouble. Yeah, so this thing, it's a bit weird the way it moves faster backwards than it does forwards. It's quite handy for relocating. There we go. Got rid of him. Obviously, because it's fresh, 100% crude. I've got 6 sensor or anything working on these. So. Don't know if I was spotted then. It's got quite a good gun traverse on this one. That's ended. Move in. It's so bizarre having something that moves faster backwards and forwards. That means relocating in artillery. You can run away from things whilst keeping your gun pointed at them, which is just awesome. It's a sort of similar situation to the sort of thing you can do with a batch-out RT or an SU-26 kind of thing. Keep your gun pointed at the target, but keep the fast direction of your tank and the way you need to run away, which is just great. Not looking too good here. I'm going to aim down here somewhere because there was a couple of medium tanks around here. See, again, the shell just went wayward. And that was a fully zoomed shot. I'll try aiming just at the front of him. No. Now I'm screwed because there's somebody in the cap. That was a bit stupid. I should have not bothered shooting at that medium then. Well, not as good as the first battle I had in that, but no, I take each battle as it comes to me. It's not ideal trying to show off tanks on a test server. I would have been able to survive that shot if it wasn't for that guy at the beginning shooting me from my own team. So I may have had a chance, but can't complain about that because I shouldn't have fired at the other guy anyway. Right, anyway. Let's go and have a look at the battle results. Okay, so here's the results from that amazing defeat. 316 experience, 14,000 credits, which doesn't seem too bad actually for a loss. Look at the team. I only did 722 damage, which is pretty bad. And yeah, not great at all. 9 shots, 2 direct hits, 8 splashes. So I did affect a vehicle with every shot that I fired, which is a bit surprising. What did we do? We did 300 to him, 90 to him, 299 to him. It's a bit strange, and I did splash our ally when I was shooting at that other tank, but didn't actually damage him, so that's not too bad. So, all in all, that's quite an interesting little vehicle. I did 700 damage with a gun that does 900 average damage per shot, so that's pretty low. But yeah, all in all, I quite like this little tank, and I'm quite looking forward to it. There's a lot of them I'm not looking forward to grinding through, which hopefully I'll get some videos up to show you as well, but this one should be quite interesting to play. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.